Hi students, I'm Dr. Bhavna. In this lecture, we are going to continue with the topic called as environmental issues. So already in the last class, we have dealt multiple numerical topics with the environmental issues. So basically, I want you to clearly understand that environmental issues is very important in NEET point of view because numerous questions will be asked based on this. And so many people are asking doubts regarding environmental issues, like they are asking what should we read. So mainly the important concept here is the first thing you should concentrate on years basically. Then you should concentrate on the today's concepts of greenhouse effects as well as global warming, because by this only so many plants and trees are deforestation, everything is taking place. So we all should combine to stop this deforestation and all. So here this topic basically they'll ask questions related to the new coming topics, like they'll ask presently the current situations. So I want you to clearly concentrate on the percentages as well as the numericals, as well as what are the acts that are basically passed in India to control all the water pollution as well as so waste managements and all, how to control them. It is very important. So first thing we have started with in environmental issues, water pollution is done, solid waste management is done, as well as we have started with greenhouse effect. So in this concept of greenhouse effect, I told you so many are getting confused regarding this. In this greenhouse effect, the main concept that you should remember is, first, what is greenhouse effect? The solar radiation which is reaching the earth's surface should get heated. So it is responsible for heating of the earth's surface. In this greenhouse effect, there are four important greenhouse gases. They are nothing but methane, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, as well as the fourth important greenhouse gas is chlorofluorocarbons. So these are the four greenhouse gases which are associated with greenhouse effect. And the incident solar radiation which is coming from the sun, it should reach the earth's surface. There is a barrier between these. This is nothing but ozone that we will see in the future topics. So first, in the greenhouse effect, there are greenhouse gases also which are present between the sun and between the earth. So these are the four greenhouse gases. Ideally, greenhouse gases should present in normal state, like that greenhouse gases should be present in minimal quantities, but if they are exceeded, it leads to global warming. That is nothing but increase in heating of the earth's surface due to greenhouse gases. That is called as global warming. So these are the four greenhouse gases. So normally these are present in normal quantities, but if they are exceeding, why they are exceeding is the question here. Because of suppose deforestation, you are cutting down so many trees, as well as you are burning the fossil fuels. Which gas is increased here? Carbon dioxide. Deforestation and massive burning of fossil fuels increases the carbon dioxide level. Next, another important thing that you should remember here is methane. Normally, you see biogas plants as well as paddy fields. So here, which gas is increasing here? That is methane. Biogas plants, paddy fields. Which substance is released into the atmosphere in more and more quantities is nothing but methane. Then N2O, nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide, it is released from your vehicles. So many vehicles release nitrous oxide. So this is about that. Then chlorofluorocarbons, ACs as well as refrigerators which you all are using. They will release so much amount of chlorofluorocarbons. So that point you should remember. So these are the four things how these are increased in the atmosphere. So we should stop all this, but all this is possible to stop? No, because we all require houses to live. So there should be deforestation. We all should require ACs, refrigerators, but in minimal quantities we should use. As well as each and every person should contribute to reducing the greenhouse effect. So the global warming is increasing, and the radiation which is falling on the earth's surface, the incident solar radiation which is falling on the earth's surface, it is what is happening, only half of that is received by the earth's surface. Only half of it is received by the earth's surface. The rest of the 1/4 is reflected back from the earth's surface. So where it is going? I told you, between the sun as well as earth there are greenhouse gases. When the suppose this is the sun, this is earth. So when greenhouse gases are falling on this, I am revising for you each and every topic because these are very important in each point of view. They'll ask you so many questions regarding this. So that's why I want you to clearly understand. I'm repeating and repeating, not that it is very easy for me. The point here you should understand is you should clearly revise. You're not revising in your homes. So that's why in the second class also again I'm trying to revise for you all. So when sun is falling on the earth's surface, the solar radiation when it is falling on the earth's surface, it is reflected back. So what is happening basically, when this is reflected back, the greenhouse gases which are present, they will receive the solar radiation and again they will send back to the earth's surface. Actually, when this solar radiation is reflected back, it should go back into the space. But because of the greenhouse gases, they are coming back to the earth's surface. So, ideally, this is the case which should happen. But what is happening? So much of greenhouse gases are getting accumulated here because of deforestation or paddy fields or burning of fossil fuels, chlorofluorocarbons. Because of all this, so many this are accumulated in the atmosphere, greenhouse gases. So when they are accumulated in the atmosphere, so they will absorb the reflected light. Here they will absorb, and again they will send back to the earth's surface. So much they will send, because if so many greenhouse gases are there, so much will be reflected back, or else they will go into space. There is no space to go into space. There is no pathway to go into the space. Again they are reflected back to the earth's surface only. So like this it is commonly happening. So here what you should do, because you should reduce the level of greenhouse gases, but it is not possible. So it is leading to an effect that is called as global warming. Global warming. In this global warming, what is happening? So much of Earth's surface is getting heated. So what is happening when so much of Earth's surface is getting heated in the atmosphere? The basic point you should remember is here, so much is getting heated. So what will be there? So much, there is an effect that is called as El Nino effect. El Nino effect. So in this El Nino effect, there is melting of solar ice caps, or else polar ice caps. So many are getting melted, as well as in Himalayan areas also, all are getting melted. So what is happening? There is submerging of danger of submerging of coastal areas. Kerala, suppose in India, Goa, these all are coastal areas. These all will get submerged because of the effect that is called as El Nino effect. So melting of polar ice caps will take place. Suppose if there is so much sunlight falling on the river or ice caps, what they will happen? They will get melted. Here also glaciers and all, so much polar ice caps where they are present, they all are getting melted due to increased solar radiation due to global warming. So there is submerging of coastal areas, danger of submerging, as well as these plants and animals are also not able to survive because of global warming. So this full is all happening due to increase in greenhouse gases present in the atmosphere. So I want you to clearly differentiate what are the main things which are associated. Here only three important neat questions which will be asked. They are nothing but what are the four greenhouse gases. They'll ask how they are increased. Suppose they'll give you due to refrigerators and ACs which of the gases are increased in the atmosphere. So you should answer chlorofluorocarbons. Like that thing you should understand. Then you should understand about the global warming, why it is taking place due to increase in Earth's surface radiation, increase in solar radiation, as well as next important question is how much of the solar radiation is reaching the Earth's surface. Only half is reaching the Earth's surface. The rest of the one fourth is reflected back into the space. If greenhouse gases are more, it is again reflected back to the Earth's surface. If greenhouse gases are very less, then they are going into the space. So this is about the greenhouse effect as well as the global warming. Another important point that you should remember here is nothing but in this global warming, there is an effect which is produced that is called as El Nino effect. So in this El Nino effect also, there is severe melting of solar ice caps which is seen. So this is about the greenhouse effect and global warming. Next we are going to shift. So how do you reduce the global warming is reforestation, planting more trees, reducing the use of burning of fossil fuels, reducing the use of ACs, refrigerators and all. So this is about the global warming. Next we are going to start with ozone. So ozone, important point that you should remember about ozone is oxygen plus one of the O molecule give rise to ozone. Again, plus UV radiations also which are falling on the Earth's surface. See, I told you there is a barrier which is present between the sun and Earth's surface. That is nothing but ozone. Where is ozone present? It is present in the stratosphere. I think you all know what are the four layers which are present. Troposphere, stratosphere, and all are present. So in the stratosphere, ozone is present. And what is the thickness which is associated with that of ozone? Thickness of ozone should be more. If thickness is very less, the solar radiation will come and fall on the Earth's surface. Solar radiation is very dangerous, right? Because now only you can understand here. See, all the astronauts and all have gone to moon. Why they have not gone to sun? Because the sun is very far. The first thing. The second thing is if we are approaching near the sun, we can't survive because of the high temperatures. Moon at least there is some temperature and we can survive there. But here on the Earth's surface, here near the sun, we can't even go near the sun also. We are not able to go because of the so much of the solar radiation which is associated with that of the sun. So this ozone layer should protect for the Earth's surface. So the thickness of the ozone should be very more to protect. So the thickness here is more near the polar regions, near the poles it is more than the equator. That's why so much of sunlight is falling near the equator. In Maharashtra regions or in Rajasthan areas, so much of sunlight you experience than that of the polar regions like Jammu and Kashmir, because the thickness of ozone layer is more there near the poles than near the equator. So that point you should remember. Thickness of near the poles it is more than that of equator. I want you all to write it like this in a sequence, because suddenly if you refer it will be very easy for you to understand here. Only important points I'm writing: stratosphere, ozone, poles, thickness is more. And how this ozone is measured from the ground to the top. How is it measured? It is measured in Dobson's units. Dobson units. a very important point is Dobson's units. How is thickness of ozone measured? Important neat question that you should remember. So thickness of ozone is measured in Dobson's units. Next, another important point that you should remember here is how is ozone decreasing? How the thickness of ozone is decreasing? Because of the one main greenhouse gas. In four greenhouse gases, one greenhouse gas is responsible for the creation of ozone hole. What is this ozone hole? So many scientists have proved that there is a hole which is created in the ozone layer. So it is mainly seen in Antarctic region. Antarctica region. Here the Dobson units in this Antarctica region are very less, and there is a hole which is created so that the solar radiation is directly reaching the earth's surface and so many people are affected. So the ozone hole is created already in the Antarctic region in the world. So why this is responsible? This is responsible because of chlorofluorocarbons, one of the greenhouse gas which is causing this ozone hole. So much an amount of this chlorofluorocarbons are released into the atmosphere. They are going down into the ozone and they are making the ozone layer very thin. They are making. So the main gas which is associated with this ozone layer is chlorofluorocarbons. And so important point is stratosphere. Pole's thickness is more, measured in Dobson units. Chlorofluorocarbons are associated with this. So the solar radiation which is falling is UVB radiation. UVB. So the UVB radiation is very dangerous to our human beings. What it will do? It will cause the damage to the human beings, like how it will cause cataract, it will cause snow blindness. What is this snow blindness? If so much amount of sunlight is reaching us, our eyes are very sensitive to the sunlight, so they will cause the inflammation of the cornea and it leads to snow blindness. You say the specific term, important neat question. UVB radiations will damage which part of the human body? So they will damage the eye. How they will damage? They will cause the inflammation of the cornea as well as they will cause the cataract. They will cause inflammation of cornea. There are two parts, cornea, sclera in the eye we already have discussed. So they'll cause the inflammation of the cornea as well as they'll cause cataract. Inflammation of the cornea is also called as snow blindness. So they'll cause inflammation of cornea, snow blindness as well as the cataract they will cause. So because of this, it will cause irreparable damage. That is, the vision will be lost for humans. So these UVB radiations are very dangerous, and they will also, we all have humans, we all have DNA, we all have. That's why only we are able to see genes and all is based on this DNA only. So this DNA also will be damaged because of this UVB radiations. What is happening is they'll break down the molecules of the DNA. They'll break the bonds between the DNA and it will lead to severe diseases. Genetical diseases it will lead to. So they will cause what are the effects of UVB radiations? Inflammation of the cornea, cataract, snow blindness is nothing but inflammation of cornea, as well as they'll break down the bonds in the DNA as well as other molecules which are present in the body. So that's why UVB radiations should not fall on the Earth's surface. If UVB radiations should not fall on the Earth's surface, what we should do? We should protect the ozone layer. If we want to protect the ozone layer, what we should do? The chlorofluorocarbons which are emitted into the atmosphere should be minimized. So we should stop the usage of refrigerators, or we should minimize the level of stoppage of the these refrigerators and air conditioners. So this is the main cause which leads to ozone hole formation. So this is about that. So important point here, two important neat questions which they will ask is, how is thickness of ozone measured, Dobson units? Another one is about the UVB radiations, inflammation of cornea and cataract, then chlorofluorocarbons. And the another important thing that you should remember is the Montreal Protocol, which was given. What is this Montreal Protocol? So many times in NEET it was asked, what is Montreal Protocol? It is also related to this ozone. To confuse you all, now you will remember because I have put the heading of ozone and I have written Montreal Protocol. You will understand what is Montreal Protocol and to which it is related. But in numerous NEET, suddenly you go and first year and second year topics, everything are there. You all will get confused. What is this Montreal Protocol? Important thing that you should remember here is Montreal Protocol. The different name which is associated is nothing but proposed in 1987 to reduce the emission of ozone depleting substances. To reduce the emission of ozone depleting substances. It was proposed in the year 1987. Montreal Protocol was to reduce the emission of ozone depleting substances. So in 1987, Montreal Protocol was introduced, and in this it reduces the emission of ozone depleting substances. This is about the which act was passed to reduce the thickness of the ozone, like to minimize the chances of creating the ozone hole. The Montreal Protocol was introduced. Till now, three acts I have told. Water Act 1974, then Environmental Act 1986. 1974, first act which was passed was Water Act only. 1974. 1986 is Environmental Act. 1987 immediately ozone. This was related to Montreal Protocol. So this is about the ozone layer and how it is going to affect the humans if it was reduced. So important NEET question they'll ask, Montreal Protocol was for option A, deforestation, option B, to reduce the ozone depleting substances. Again they'll give you numerous options like that. So to reduce the emission of ozone depleting substances, this Montreal Protocol was given. So this is about the ozone layer. Next we are going to start with deforestation as well as reforestation. So deforestation. So what is deforestation basically? Cutting down of trees. You should say conversion of forest area into non-forest area is nothing but deforestation. Fully forest area you are converting into non-forest area. That is only deforestation. So in this deforestation basically, before in India there was 30% of the land's surface which was contributed for the forest. 30% is contributed for that of forest. Now only 19% is for forest, because all have cut down the forest, deforestation has taken place. And before also India used to cover so much amount for these forests. Now it was almost 10% have been reduced. The forest 10% is not a normal thing. Millions of hectares of land was reduced. So here That's why there was a national forest policy which was passed. National forest policy was passed to preserve the forest, or else before it was 30%, now it will become only 1%. Only 1% forests will be covered. So to reduce, to stop the deforestation, there was national forest policy which was introduced. In this national forest policy, it was given in the year National Forest Policy. It was given in the year 1988. So all you can easily remember: Water Act 1974. Then next is the next act is the Environmental Act 1986. Then 1987 is Montreal Protocol. National Forest Policies 1988. All these one year, one act was passed. So National Forest Policy. What it says? It says that in India, about 33% should be contributed for that of plains, 67% for that of hills. Very, very important neat question that you should remember. Every alternative year they'll ask. So many will get confused. 67% is plains or 33% is hills. 33% plains. Hills, remember, hills should cover a maximum area than that of plains. So 33% for the plains, 67% maximum is for hills. That you should remember. Remember only one so that another one will be easy for you. 33% plains, 67%. According to National Forest Policy, which was given in the year 1988, 33% is for plains, 67% is for hills. So that you should remember. And majority in India, before earlier, in the earliest century, 30% were covered by forest. Now only 19% is covered by the forest because of deforestation. So in deforestation, to control the deforestation, there was a thing that was introduced, that is nothing but slash and burn agriculture. Slash and burn agriculture was introduced to prevent the deforestation, to stop the deforestation. Slash and burn agriculture. So in this slash and burn agriculture, first cut down of trees are taking place and these trees are burnt. So what is happening in that area only? Again trees are cut down and they are burnt, and again reforestation is taking place. So this cultivation is also called as jam cultivation. Slash and burn agriculture or jam cultivation. So this is about the deforestation which is taking place. In deforestation, two only important points. We have discussed about the ozone. Next, we have started with deforestation. Deforestation is cutting down the trees or the trees are broken down. The forest area is converted into non-forest area. And how much before in India it used to cover forests is 30%. Now it is reduced to only 19%. Next, according to National Forest Policy, which was given under the year 1988, 33% is contributed to the plains, 67% maximum is for the hills. So to prevent all this deforestation and all, there was a cultivation which was done, that is nothing but jam cultivation. Important neat question which is so many times asked. Jam cultivation is also called as, they'll give you so many names. It is also called as slash and burn agriculture. So in this slash and burn agriculture, the trees are cut down, slashed. By name only you can understand. The trees are slashed and they are burnt, and again there is reforestation which is taking place in that land area. So this is associated with the concept of deforestation. Next we are going to continue with, in the next class, with reforestation, means planting down the trees. as well as we are going to continue with the noise pollution as well as air pollution. When we complete with the noise pollution and air pollution, we will end the environmental issues. Then next can proceed, then this chapter will end with the topic of ecology. Next we will start with the another fresh chapter.